Hi, Godly Chicks. This is your girl, Takyah. And y'all, once again, I'm a little agitated. So there's a few reasons why. One reason, again, my neighbors, and I don't know if y'all can hear the music in the background. I'm going to try to tune it out as much as I can. But like I said, I'm recording right in the kitchen and this big window. It just lets in all kinds of sound, and it may pick them up in their music and they're talking and laughing. So if you hear it, just ignore it, y'all. So that's one thing. But it's 7 o'clock on Sunday, and I just have to go ahead and start recording. Like, I cannot keep putting off waiting for them to get quiet, okay? Because like I said, it's the weekend and they don't get quiet on the weekend. So anyway, that's one reason why I was annoyed. And the second reason I was annoyed, not, like I said, not a lot, but just a little, is because I started watching this video that someone sent me. I didn't, seek this video out myself. It was something that someone sent me and I couldn't even finish it. Like, I just didn't like it. And I'm sure, whoever this person was behind this account that sent me this video probably did so innocently. But what this man was saying in this video was kind of hard for me to receive, because it seemed to be based on a worldly view of dating. And for me, honestly, just for the most part, I found the beginning of the video foolish. And maybe it got better, not sure, because I stopped watching it. But it made me think about something. And I gotta say this. Because I know, in the body of Christ, we have a lot of theologies, a lot of teachers teaching us all kinds of things about love, marriage, and dating. Some is good advice and some is not. And then some just, is, it's not good or bad, but it's just them. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to make a few things clear here. Whatever seeds you sow in your singleness will be the fruit that will sprout up in your marriage. Meaning, whatever you practice while you're single will be the foolishness and the terrible mindset that you will take over into your marriage, whether it's God ordained or not. Like, it's not going to disappear just because you suddenly got married to the person God has for you. And I don't want to get too deep with this, because y'all already know I got a whole podcast episode coming up that is strictly for the men. And we are going to talk about this particular point in depth. But y'all, if you practice infidelity, jumping from person to person, sex before marriage, having a girlfriend, but while you have a girlfriend, you're still looking at someone else while you're in a whole full-blown relationship with her, you are foolish, you are lustful, and you need deliverance. Your singleness is not supposed to be about how many men you can date, sis, or how many women you can sleep with, fellas. It's supposed to be devout and unto the Lord. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32 says, I would like you to be free from concern, because an unmarried man is concerned about the Lord's affairs, how he can please the Lord. So it's not about sowing royal oats, which is stupid, because like I said, you're not sowing anything, nothing but doing a demonic transfer in the spirit. They're getting your demons and you're getting theirs. Y'all think y'all out here enjoying life, and all you're doing is setting up demonic altars in the spirit and making covenants with hell that you'll later have to come back and try to break down and dismantle and go through deliverance to get rid of when it's time for you to be married. I mean, it's just utter and complete foolishness. And, like I said, I don't know why this person sent me this video. I truly have no clue. But anyone who starts off a video saying how you shouldn't get mad if your boyfriend looks at another woman, it's just complete and utter malarkey. And to me, I feel like as a believer, it's trying to train you to accept disrespect. Because for me, I wish a Negro would be on a date with me and then turn his head all the way around to go look at someone else and gawking and goo-goo eyes at her, and then come hit me with but we ain't married, so I'm free to do that. Baby, that'll be the first and last date he'll ever have with me. And you may not be married to me or have a covenant with me, but if you are a Christian man, a believer in the Bible, you're supposed to have a covenant with God. So whether you have a covenant with me or not, if you you are truly saved and walking with God, then there's a certain level of care and respect that you should have for me off top, even if I'm not your wife. And if that is too much for you, then baby, hit the road, Jack. Because how a man treats you while he's courting you will be the same exact way that he treats you after marriage. In fact, sometimes after marriage, they get a little bit more lazier, a little bit more comfortable, and they may not even do all the things that they did while you were dating. You know, life sets in, different things. And in marriage, you really have to be intentional about continuing to love and sow seeds into your partner that you want to sprout up in your garden, you know, in your marital garden. You have to be intentional, because the enemy is really going to be attacking you now, because now you're in covenant with God as well as with each other. Now he really has something to attack. He already tries to attack you to get you to not marry the person God has for you. But now you didn't actually made it. You didn't actually marry them. You got to be intentional. But nevertheless, whatever mindset a man has while he's courting you, it will be the same mindset that he has in marriage if he does not get delivered. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That video vexed me so bad within the first few moments. And although, you know, I agree with a couple things that he said, that many people have made their girlfriend and boyfriend idols, which, you know, I understand. I think that's absolutely stupid. But that's why I say the girlfriend and boyfriend title is stupid, because what the crap is a girlfriend? It's not in the Bible. You are going to go from being my brother in Christ to my fiance to my husband. You're not going to label me a girlfriend and think that you're going to get husband benefits just because you gave me a stupid title. I'm going to ignore you, and I'll still call you my brother in Christ until you put a ring on my finger. You're going to be called brother. Brother Tom, brother Harry, brother Dick, whatever your name is. That's what you're going to be called. I'm not interested in a girlfriend title. It's not biblical. Y'all already know how I feel about that. Like I said before, ain't nothing but a title that man give you to try to use you up like a prostitute. And men give you this title, especially Christian men, so they won't feel as guilty while they're fornicating with you. So that's why they give you that title, so it can make them feel a little bit better about themselves while they're having sex and fornicating when it's not of God, whether you got a girlfriend title or not, as if God recognizes a girlfriend title. It's so they won't feel guilty while they're robbing you of your virtue. And why on earth would a person be practicing lawlessness if you're supposed to be in a relationship with someone else? Like, even that mindset is trash. And if you decide to be with someone and you don't like them, then leave them. But all that disrespect, and then you hitting somebody with the, but we ain't married, I ain't got no covenant with you. Baby, you're going to be blocked before the date is over. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sit right across from the dinner table at you while we out and block you, and you don't even know you blocked. I'm going to smile at you, make you think, oh yeah, we having a good time. Okay, Rico. Oh yeah, no problem. And baby, once I get home, you will never hear from me again. Try it with me and see what happens. I mean, just foolishness. And me expecting someone to treat me with basic decency and be mindful of me while they're out here. And me wanting respect is not me making them an idol. And it's stupidity if a person thinks like that. Whew, Jesus, y'all, I couldn't even finish the video. I don't even know if it got better. I don't even know if it got better, but them first few minutes vexed me and I cut it off. Like, it just vexed me, just dumb. Anyway, what you practice while you are single will be the foolishness that shows up in your marriage. So if you practice being unfaithful, if you practice going from person to person, if you practice not obeying God's word and not even doing the things he asks you to do, such as presenting your body a living sacrifice to him, then what on earth makes you think it's going to change overnight just because now you got married and you got a marriage certificate and you had a cute wedding? Please use your single years wisely, godly chicks and gents. Use it to become better. Use it to become whole. Use it to heal from all that trauma and heartbreak you faced and rejection as a child. Use it to let God mold you into the best version of yourself so that you can add to your future spouse's life instead of take away from them. Use your single years to die to your flesh, not enhance it. Use it to be loyal to God so that when he gives you your spouse, it won't be hard for you to do. As a lot of believers say, living for God is so hard. Of course, living for God is hard. That's why the Bible say there's only a few that find the righteous pathway. There be only a few that find it. And if you spend years on top of years living in sin and glorifying your flesh, then when you get married, infidelity will be inevitable. Why? Because you have no self-control. You have no long suffering. You don't know how to tell yourself no. Every woman who comes by in a dress, you want to lift the dress up and hop in it. Every man that comes by with his chest out and six-pack showing, you want to rub him down with some oil. You have no self-control. You don't know how to tell yourself no. And because you have never learned how to be content with God and his presence alone, even after you have his blessings and a beautiful gift that he has given to you in the form of marriage, you're still not content. And it's because you did not sow into the spirit while you were single. And now all you have is fleshly desires, fleshly wants, and your flesh is still alive even after marriage, because instead of using your single years to kill it, you use your single years to feed it. And y'all know the other day when I just mentioned very briefly in that podcast about, me not wanting to dishonor my husband and how I actually started thinking about him and things like that. And that was another thought that kept me to myself. The reason that I could think about my husband, whoever he's going to be, God knows at the end, but whoever I end up marrying, I still keep him in my mind. I still be like, okay, God, my husband, I'm going to wait for my husband for, the man I'm going to marry, blah, blah, blah. I can do that. I can keep him in mind because I keep God in mind. So when I am married, it's easy for me to transition from following God to following him. But if I've never followed God, then I'm going to make for a terrible wife because I don't know how to follow. I don't know how to let someone lead me. But because I have spent my single years dying to my flesh, apologizing when I didn't want to apologize, forgiving when I didn't want to forgive, letting go when I didn't want to let go, because I have spent my single years working on my flesh, telling my flesh no. When I get married and baby daddy say, not baby daddy, but my husband say, hey, baby, no, we're not doing this. This is what I feel like is better for us. I want us to do this for the family. Let's go this route. I won't be like, yeah, I think that, yeah. I'm going to say, okay, baby. All right. I trust you. Let's go. Let's go the route you're going. And I will be able to do that because God has already done that with me. He's already told me, Takyah, you're not going this way. You're going to go this way. And when he does that, I submit. But if you have spent your single years being wild, when you get married, that wildness is going to still be in you. And I don't know why God has me going this way and why that video did me like that. But y'all who are preparing for marriage, preparing for your God-ordained spouse and wanting God to give you your person, die to your flesh. Practice dying. Practice death. Because when you get married, let me tell you something that the Lord revealed to me. You want to know why you go down to an altar to get married? You go down to an altar because you are making a sacrifice. That's what happens on altars. So the single version of you dies. I don't mean your dreams. I don't mean your wants. I don't mean your personality. All of that stuff is coming with you. But the foolishness, everything that you did while you were single has to die. All of your thoughts, all of your ideologies, all of this foolishness that you're just letting other people pump into you that's not even biblical. All of your, well, this is what I thought it would go out and do. And then, he fine. She fine. If I could just one more time before I get married. All of these dumb ideas, it has to die in order for your marriage to live. You are sacrificing your singlehood to become one with this person that you're standing at this altar with, and you're doing it before God. And he is the one that takes your sacrifice and makes a covenant out of it. Do y'all hear me? You are dying at the altar. There is no more you. I'm not talking about dreams, goals, all of this stuff. No. I'm talking about foolish things, bachelor lifestyle, bachelorette lifestyle, foolish stuff, hopping from person to person, things that you have been doing for years. It has to die, okay? But if you have not practiced this in your single season, and I am moving on, you are going to make your marriage so much harder than it has to be. It's easy for me to honor my husband. He doesn't have to be here. I don't have to have a covenant with him, as this stupid video said. I don't have to have a covenant with him to honor him before he gets here, to try to save my body for him, to try to wait for him as best as I can. I don't have to have a covenant with him. I have a covenant with God. Anyway, sorry, y'all. I went off a little bit right there. But y'all, I mean, this stuff is crazy out here. Like, folks acting like our singleness is all about us and just dating around and being with person after person. I just mean, it's just stupid. It's just stupidity to me, and it just pissed me off. It's not even supposed to be about us at all. It's about the Lord and him molding and him shaping us. And if we are called to marriage, which many of us are, then he'll start shaping us for our spouse so we can have a beautiful marriage instead of a foolish, hellish one filled with misery and mayhem and infidelity, because you're bringing 100 demons from the men and women you slept with in the past into the marriage, and all of these demonic covenants, all these demonic marriages you done had in the past. You've been married to 100 men. You've been married to 100 women. You still ain't got delivered from, and then you wondering why demons are fighting you so hard on your God-ordained marriage. That's because they have a legal right to do it, because you keep fornicating and you keep cheating on God. God called you to be a priest, and you're a predator. Okay, let me be quiet because I'm finna get rowdy up in here. Y'all, once again, I'm sorry. I don't know why they did me like that. I don't know who that is for, but baby, that's the way God led me, and that's the way God wanted me to go. I hate when people just be saying anything on these videos and this stuff is just of the flesh, like all these fleshly dating theologies, when all you have to do is ask God, like Isaac's servant did for Isaac. Who is my master supposed to marry? And God sent Rebecca right out to the well to do exactly what he had prayed for, down to the T. But all this frivolous, this confusion, this hopping from person to person, all of this stuff is just crazy. And like I said, I'm not talking about a moment of weakness like we all have had. I'm talking about a lifestyle. And then people wonder why they want to commit suicide and jump off of a bridge, and wondering why you have no peace. Well, if you stop hopping all over the place and get in God's presence and allow him to mold you and make you over and clean you up, and stop making demonic covenants with demons in dresses and demons in nice suits, then you will have peace and you won't be oppressed. It's basic Christian principles. Stop offering up your body to demons and you will stop being depressed. I don't know who that's for or why God is making me go this way, but I'm going. Stop living in darkness and lying like you're living in the light. You can fool people, but you cannot fool God. Once again, I say to you, if you keep on practicing lawlessness and unfaithfulness to God, then why on earth would he send you his son, sis? Why on earth would he send you his daughter, bro, when all you have done is break his heart and the covenant you have with him over and over again? Yes, he forgives, but if you think that he's going to approve you for marriage and your very walk with him is tainted and demonic and given over to darkness, then think again. And it's so sad because believers today, I mean, some of them are not even trying. You don't even care. You have one moment of weakness. Oh, well, let me call him up, girl. Let me tell him to come over here and slang that thing. Let me call her up and let me tell her to come hop on some. You don't even try. You're just weak. And it's not about perfection, but you do have to strive. The Bible says strive to enter in at the narrow gate. And some of y'all are not even doing that. You hide behind this false message of grace, and you're going to find yourself in hell if you keep it up. Either you are for God and you want him to be the Lord over your life, or you are for your flesh and you are for Satan and you want them to be the Lords over your life. Either it is God or it is Satan. There is no in between. If God be God, then follow him. But if Satan is your God, then follow him. All right. Now I'm done. And I don't know how we got all the way over there, but that was for somebody. I promise I do not know. If I knew, I would give you a hint, but I do not know. I don't even know how we got from a video to all of that. But anyway, here we are. And God, may you be glorified. Okay. Let's all take a deep breath. Let's all take a deep breath, Godly Chicks. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's take one more. Breathe in. And breathe out. All right. Now we can move on. I was going to start off with the story, but I've already been over 20 minutes, so we are not going to do any stories. And honestly, I've told so many stories that we just don't need anymore. Like by now, after the first 4 podcasts, you girls should be very well versed in the signs that a man doesn't want you and how quickly a man moves when he does, such as the last story I told y'all about when my friend was sitting at the bar and how her now husband came up to her point blank and told her that she was his wife. And as crazy as it was, she was. And he told her that if she just gave him a year, he would marry her. And it happened just as he said. And now they're prospering, have several businesses, are multimillionaires, and living in a big old house in a rich part of Memphis. But he was with another woman he had been with for 7 years. But when he saw her, he knew, and he shifted his entire life for her, got out of that relationship he was in and came back and got her almost a year to the date, proposed to her within a few months, and they were married the same year because she was her and the other woman he was with wasn't her. So in today's podcast, we are going to be talking about that woman, sis. The woman who needs no introducing, the woman whose presence captivates everyone who sees her, the woman who has the heart of the man you love. For some women, you already know this man is in love with her and he's already showing you signs that he's about to leave you for her. And for other women, the woman is not even there yet, but you just know that you're not her. Because when you are her, you won't have to try so hard to be loved. You won't have to beg for the basics that you should be given in a relationship. You won't have to fight for a man's heart so hard and feel like you're in a ring fighting by yourself. No, because the woman, the one who is her, the one who is the one, it comes natural for that man to love you because this woman is the woman who makes his heart jump, the woman who anoints his spirit with oil, the woman who makes his brain intrigued, the woman who feels like an answer to his very prayers, the woman who gives him a run for his money because she's just that girl. And when you're that woman, the woman who stands out, the woman who he sees as a lily in a field of thorns, he's not letting you go. He's not giving you up, and he's not gonna play in your face, and he's not taking his time lollygagging around because he's afraid that someone else is going to get you. He's not treating you like you're a dime a dozen and like he can go find another you tomorrow because he knows that he can't. That woman leaves him worried. That woman keeps him up at night thinking about all the ways he wants to love her. That woman makes him take time out of his week to schedule dates and even vacations months ahead of time just because he wants to show her he appreciates her. That woman gets flowers. She gets showered with affection and she's handled with care because she is her. And when you're her, love is a given, and it's given to you sweetly with no fights, no tears, no regrets, no pain, no worries, and no ultimatums on your part. So today, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about the 6 signs to know that you're just not her, and what you as a woman should do when you find this out. We're also going to talk about how a man moves and acts when you are her, so you can know if you're in the clear and can rest or if you need to be packing your bags and moving on. So without further ado, let's get started, ladies. 6 signs you're just not her. Number 1, he doesn't protect your heart, your name, or your body. He talks to you crazy. He disrespects you in front of others. He touches your body but avoids touching your soul. He doesn't care if you're triggered or emotionally unstable because your peace is not his priority. And that is not love, sis. That's neglect. Because real love protects And a godly man who is interested in you and who knows you're her, baby, he will do his best to protect you at all costs. And this is a big sign. Men bogart the women they love and actually see a future with. Baby, you can be talking to someone on the other side of the room and they'll pop up like, what's good, my brother? Oh yeah, this mine right here. And get a man a handshake and make their presence known. I mean, baby, you wouldn't even see him coming. And the next thing you know, he popped up beside you, got his hand on your waist. They do this because it's natural. It's a natural instinct for men to protect what they love. So protection comes out of them naturally. So if the man you're dating isn't covering you, cherishing you, protecting you, and he doesn't seem to care about you or your well-being, then he is not your husband. He's your heartbreak. And this point you can easily tell, because if he makes a mistake, he's going to come back and apologize. He might not do it right away, but he's going to come back. If he hurts your feelings, he's going to try his best to make it right. If he does something wrong, he's genuinely trying to mend his ways and make it up to you. He's not leaving you out here by yourself against the world to fend for yourself. And he's not leaving you just because things get tough. I remember someone asking this man I was watching a while ago. I don't know if it was an interview or if it was on TV or what, maybe a YouTube video I saw. But this man had just recently gotten married and he had had a very, very colorful past. No judgment here. But before he married her, he talked about how he had been with over, I believe it was 200 women. And he said that he just stopped counting. You know, he'd had sex with all of these women. And in this video, he was actually talking about his deliverance and his wife and how much she helped him and different things like that and how God delivered him from the spirit of lust. And somehow they got on the subject of marriage, I think because he started talking about his wife. And the interviewer asked him, okay, well, seeing that, you know, you've done that, you've slept with over 200 women, you just stopped counting, and you had so many women in the past, how did you know that your wife was the one? And he paused and he said, I knew that my wife was the one when I had gotten mad at her. As crazy as it may seem, it took an argument for me to realize how much I loved her. He said, we had just had an argument, and this was before they had gotten married, even before he proposed to her. And he said, we weren't speaking to each other for a couple of days. And then he said a day goes by and still nothing from her. And then 2 days go by, still nothing from her. And he said in the past when this happened, it was nothing to him. He just called up another chick, picked one from the roster, sent the other girl a breakup text, and moved on like it was nothing. He was out here moving on like Usher, singing, you make me want to leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship with you. This is what you do. That's what he was doing. And he said, but when I was alone by myself and really got to thinking, all I could think about was her, and I didn't even want another woman. And in that moment, I called her up and told her plainly, I apologized. And then I told her I'd rather be here having a bad day with you than to be having a good day with someone else. And then I told her I loved her for the first time. A few months later, we were married. When I tell y'all, I sat up all the way in my bed because what? Like, that was so beautiful and profound to me. Y'all, that man said, I'd rather be here having a bad day with you than with someone else having a good day. And that's when I knew I loved her. Wow. Like, baby, I was at a loss for words. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if he was my hubby, you know what I'm saying? Don't let my husband say anything like that to me, baby, because it's going to be a wrap. Like, not you apologizing and then spin game like that. Boy, come get these drugs. Hold on. See? Wait a minute. I'm taking it too far. I forgot this is a podcast for the public. I'm acting like y'all my friends, and y'all are, but, you know, I got to be reserving, you know, some of this caca. You know, I gotta, you know, I got to cover up. You know what I'm saying? I got to be holy on here. But now, all jokes aside, y'all know I'm myself out here, but I got to be watching it. I be getting too relaxed on here. But nevertheless, that's how men feel when they're in love or when they want you and desire you. Like, even on the bad days, they're still going to be like, nah, I don't care what you say. You my woman and we're going to be together. So go on in there and sit down and hush, sit down somewhere, because we ain't separating and I ain't going nowhere, and neither are you. And if they have to apologize, they will, because they actually care about you. Like, for real, they care about you. And y'all have got to start dating men who actually care about you, sis, and who are concerned about you and your well-being as a person. I am telling you, it hits different. A man who loves you will be safe with your heart and soft with you. Real love doesn't just feel good in the beginning, but it feels safe in the hard moments too. And a man who loves you will handle your heart with care. He won't play with your emotions and dismiss your feelings. He'll see your vulnerability as something sacred, not something to exploit. And when he truly values you, he's not defensive. He's not dismissive. He doesn't gaslight, blame shift, or yell at you to the top of his lungs trying to win an argument, because the goal is not to be right. It's to be reconciled. And you will matter to this man more than his ego. And he protects you at all costs. And his love feels real. It feels humble. And it feels gentle. And even when he fails, because no one is perfect, he comes back with accountability in his hands and softness in his tone, not silence, not arrogance, not indifference, and not blame. And if you want to know how much he cares, just pay attention to him the next time you guys have a disagreement or you need a shoulder to cry on or lean on. If you cry and he rolls his eyes instead of reaching for you, he's not safe. If you say that hurt me and he says something like, man, you just tripping on whatever I want to hear, and walks out of the room or invalidates your feelings and won't even hear you out, he's not safe, sis. And if he breaks your heart and feels nothing about it, he is not your God-ordained spouse. He's not the man that God has for you. Because the man God has for you will not just love you when it's easy, but he will love you when it's hard. And he will also love you enough to grow for you. Number 2, another sign to know that you're just not her is that this man doesn't study you. He neglects you. He doesn't care to get deep with you. He can go years without letting you in his heart. He makes sure to keep it surface level because he already knows that he doesn't want you. So he never does anything meaningful with you or for you. You plan the dates, you start the conversations, you push the vision forward. You're the engine and he's just along for the ride. Choo choo. That's all he doing. You're doing everything. Choo choo. But when a man loves you, sis, he takes the initiative. He thinks of ways to surprise you, support you, and pursue you. And when he doesn't, it's because he's not emotionally invested, period. If you're the only one building the bond, you're dating yourself. When a man wants you and cares for you, he goes out of his way to do stuff for you, and he studies you like a hawk. I'm telling you what I know. He studies you like a hawk, like a lion studies a gazelle before he's about to pounce on her. That's how a man is when he truly wants you. I'm sorry, that's just how they are. And there's no way to get around that. They want to know your favorite color. They want to know your hobbies, what you like to eat, what perfume you like to wear. How old were you when you fell down the stairs? I mean, they done pulled up a chair and got a cup of coffee or tea as they listen to all your childhood stories. You are their favorite book to read, and they're like this because they're intrigued by you. They're fascinated. They want to know more about you, and even when they think they know everything, they still want to know more. They're borderline stalkers. And that's a good thing. That's a good sign. When a man wants you, you don't have to guess. He makes it obvious through his attention, consistency, and curiosity. He doesn't ignore you. He doesn't forget. He doesn't brush off your childhood memories or zone out when you're talking. No, ma'am. He studies you like a hawk. He watches the way you speak, how your voice changes when you're excited or nervous. He pays attention to your moods, your food preferences, the music that makes you cry, and the stories from your past that shaped you. He learns you like a book he can't put down. And honestly, he can't, because for him, you're that girl, you're her. And a man who's serious about you observes you with intention. And he does this so he can pursue you with precision. He listens, he takes mental notes, and he remembers. And because he sees your value and desires you, he's intentional about learning to love you well. And a man who doesn't want you and knows you're not the one for him, but he's just using you as a placeholder, well, he does the complete opposite. He forgets the basic things about you. He zones out when you're talking. He never follows up on what you said last week. He calls you crazy for needing emotional connection, and he could care less about studying you. He doesn't want to study you because he doesn't see you as being her. So if a man is not studying you, sis, you're not it. Number 3, another for sure. And I gotta say this. I mean, for sure, faux sure. Sign that you're not her is that you have to force him to choose you. It's not something he wants to do on his own. And some of these men, if they really don't have a backbone, then they may let you do this. But the men who do have a backbone, they won't be going. And for those of you who don't know what I mean by this, I'll explain it to you. It's when a woman literally tries to weigh a man down and manipulates him until he feels guilty enough to choose her, or until he feels trapped enough to choose her. So she'll cry, she throws tantrums, she snots and falls all out on the floor. I mean, snot just rolling down her nose. She sends 100 text messages to his phone, leaves 20 voicemails, and she will keep this up as long as the man entertains it. And in the spirit realm, it's called emotional witchcraft. It's witchcraft. And most of the women, if not all, who do this, do not even care about the man. They only care about themselves and what either being with this man would do for them, or the fact that they're obsessed and infatuated with him and they don't want to let him go. But whatever the reason, they really don't care about the man. And even if this man tries to leave this woman peacefully and tactfully, she still doesn't care. She will still make a scene and do anything until this man caves in. But if a man only chooses you after you've cried, begged, or guilt-tripped him, sis, he didn't choose you. He surrendered, just like Samson surrendered to Delilah. And if you had to spiritually seduce him or emotionally force him to pick you, then he didn't want you. He just didn't have the strength to say no. Because a man who wants you pursues you freely. A man who feels manipulated or worn down may go along with it, but his heart will not be in it. And men, I got to talk to y'all just for a second before I hop back on to the women. You have to be really careful out here, because you have women who will do the baby trick and try to trap you with babies so you can keep them. Then you have the emotional witchcraft, like I've already explained, and you have the ones who would try to guilt trip you. I mean, you have all sorts and types of emotional witchcraft going on. That's why y'all do not need to be having sex with all of these women, because you've made a covenant with them and now you got to go back and break that stuff. They feel entitled to you, and in the spirit realm, they should, because you've just made an illegal covenant in the spirit when you entered inside of her. So they do have a right to be angry and feel the way that they feel. Whether you dated for 2-3 weeks or 2-3 years, they have a right. And you have to go back and take these demonic covenants that you made with them back up to God and ask him to break this and get you out of that, because demons can still travel through these covenants that you have set up in the spirit. And that's why y'all have got to start practicing abstinence and keeping yourself to yourself. And when it comes to this, men, and you not wanting to be with a girl because either you've dated, you see she's not it, or whatever, you've seen her characteristics, it's not what you want for a wife, yada, yada, and now, you know, you want to let her go. The Bible says, let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. Anything more than that is from the wicked one. It's from Satan. So when a woman is doing all of this weighing a man laying down stuff, it's of Satan. It's not of God. It's equivalent to the spirit of Delilah. The Bible said that she weighed Samson down to the point where he couldn't think straight. And the Bible said she vexed his spirit unto death until he finally gave her what she wanted, but it was to his own demise. And unfortunately, he didn't know that. And this spirit that's on these women, it just will not give up, and it becomes witchcraft, because now I don't care if you don't love me. As long as I love you, then that's all that matters. And with a woman like this, a man's heart doesn't matter. A man's mind doesn't matter. A man's thoughts doesn't matter. What he does doesn't matter. How he feels doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that I want you, and I'm going to have you come hell or hot water. And I can do it the nice way, or I can do it the nasty, evil way. I can try to have sex with you, cook for you, wine and dine you, buy things for you, support you, pray for you, or I can call you 100 times a day, leave 50 voicemails on your phone, continuously post on social media, letting everybody know that we just broke up, post sad songs on every picture, talk about it everywhere I go, send you sad songs, send you old pictures of us from 5 years ago. And then even worse, as we've heard, some crazy women have keyed up cars, set a man's house on fire. That's why y'all don't even need to be taking women to where you live. Like, go meet them out in public. Keep your dates out in public. All this house stuff. And unfortunately, some of these women have even killed these men when they couldn't get their way. So it's definitely a demonic spirit. And if men have no backbone, then they will allow themselves to be taken over by this spirit. They will allow these women to trick them into something that they know that they do not want, something that they know is out of the will of God. But because they fear her and her voice and people's opinions more than they do God, they bend and break, and then they bow. And let me just interject this right here really quickly, because this is crazy. And I know it's true because I've seen it on multiple women, even women that I have had to minister to. But baby, when I tell you, I am never gonna marry a man like that. I would never even consider marrying a man who didn't have a backbone and who just let people manipulate him left to right. I mean, I just can't do it. I can't do it, because that is the total opposite of who I am. And to have that kind of man, a weak Ahab type of man who just let anybody manipulate him and make them do what they think he should do, or what an ex think he should do, or what a girl wants him to do, or a friend wants him to do, or a family member, and he can't stand up and take a stand for himself and decide that, no, I'm going to go God's way, and this is the route I want to go. Baby, if he's slimy and missing a spine and bowing all over the place, I mean, he just bowing down. What's them wavy, wacky, inflatable arm men? Like he just all over the place, just bowing down like one of them things. I am not your woman, and I am not interested if you are like that. Because if a man can be swayed by a woman to ruin his life and to stay in a relationship that doesn't make him happy, then he can be swayed by people who he actually does love and who do make him happy, like siblings, brothers, sisters, cousins, his mama, his friends, his daddy, his uncle, or whoever. And when it comes to me, even me, if I ask him something like I just told y'all and he tells me no, then that should be the end of it. I would rather him stand in that and mean what he says, and I follow him whether it's right or wrong, and then God get a hold to him and let him know it's the wrong way, regardless of what I think. I would rather him stand in that and say what he means versus being a yes man, because dating someone who constantly lets people walk all over them is terrible, and it makes for a horrible and weak husband and weak head of the household. And I'm gonna just give y'all an example really quick, and we have got to move on. Let's say, for instance, he has an uncle or a cousin or something like that, and I'm coming over for the family dinner, right? I'm coming to meet the family for the first time, and one of his guy cousins says something inappropriate to me, like, I don't know, girl, all that booty up in them jeans, looking scrumptious. Let me get up in them jeans. And he quotes a line from Genuine's song, right? And then he laughs about it. And then my man says, oh, cousin, you so funny, man. And then he just lets it slide. And instead of protecting me, he wants to laugh it off with his cousin and not cause friction. Then that is a weak man who is a people pleaser. Because any real man would be like, hey, hold up. Now, that's my woman. Now, don't be saying saying all that. And as a matter of fact, you owe her an apology, man. That was disrespectful. So if a man doesn't have enough oomph in him about me to protect me in those moments, then I'm just not interested. I'm not being with the man who is a people pleaser and who can be manipulated at any turn due to the fear of opinions of the public or due to wanting to avoid the criticisms of a friend or a family member or even an ex. I'm sorry. That's just not something I'm interested in. That's not a man I will follow. But nevertheless, back to point number 3, so we can go ahead and wrap it up and move to point number 4. A sign you're not her is if you have to force a man to choose you, you have to shove yourself down his throat. And sis, this is a demonic spirit. And even though you see this on men as well, it's on a lot of women more so than it is on men, because this is something that women do a lot. And when they have not learned how to love themselves and they have not learned how to regulate their emotions, and especially when they do not trust God and they don't even believe God has a husband for them, and this is the first man and first good man they've had in a long while, but this man is like, nah, you ain't my wife, and he want to leave, baby, they can get off into this spirit bad and let this spirit take over them, and they can become a Delilah. And Delilah was a witch. And to me, sis, like, just girl talk 101. Weighing a man down and twisting his arm and forcing him to do anything is just crazy to me, because why would you even want a man who doesn't want you, or a man who clearly wants someone else? And I know, you girls remember those first few episodes of the podcast of season 2. I was going through some rough stuff, and God wanted me to do this stuff openly. Unfortunately, I do believe it's going to be a part of a book or a testimony or something later on. But nevertheless, when the Lord told me what he told me back earlier this year, and that the person he wanted me to be with was with someone else, and was bringing in his new year with her, to me that spoke volumes. And after the Lord spoke to me, I was ready to walk away 100%, because when a man is with another woman and he chooses another woman or women over you continuously, and he's showing you that he doesn't want you, or he's showing you that he thinks he can find better than you, and that he'd rather be spending his time with them or with her over you, I think it's foolish to try to convince them otherwise. I think it's foolish to try to open up his eyes and get him to see. And that is why a big part of me has hated this process. I'm not going to lie, because it goes against everything I believe. And I don't want to dwell there, because, if I go there and dwell too long, my heart will start thinking back, and indifference will try to start, setting itself back up in my heart. And I ain't got time for no alligator dreams and alligators coming to eat me in no dreams, baby. And God coming through with swords telling me to forgive, and alligators trying to chew me to pieces, and bears attacking me. Like, baby, I ain't got time for that, for no unforgiveness. So I let it go already. But I'm just going back and thinking, like, as a woman, when a man shows you that he really isn't interested in you, or that he doesn't want you, or he wants to be somewhere else, and you don't leave, but instead you want to try to force your way into his heart. You want to prove to him that you're better than another woman, or the women that he keeps choosing over you, or the woman he keeps cheating on you with, or he breaks up with you, then goes on a date with somebody else, and then circles back and comes to you. And he's been doing this to you for years, just kind of using you as a continuous comfort while he's figuring it out, or while he's waiting to get the woman he really wants. Whatever the situation, you want to prove to him that you're her, and that you are the woman he needs to choose because you're the perfect fit for him. I think it's insanity. And it's showing how much you don't love yourself. It's giving desperate. It's giving I'll do anything for him even though he hates me. It's giving Leah. And the reason why I am so against this is because of the story of Leah and Jacob. Y'all have heard me talk about it 100 times. And even if a man chooses you, in Jacob's case, he didn't choose her. He was manipulated and married her in the dark, and then they brought Leah to him in the dark. But let's just say that you weighing him down over time does in fact work on him, and he does marry you, and he does go down to the altar with you and says vows before God. Once that man wakes up, sis, just like Jacob, and realize that you're not the woman he really wants, the one he's been waiting for and praying for, once he realizes you're not her, he will manifest into one of the most meanest and angriest men you have ever met, because now he will feel trapped in this marriage, and that entrapment will make him angry. It's like when animals try to chew their leg off to get out of a cage. He will feel suffocated, and because you didn't allow him to make that decision and choice on his own, but you pretty much forced him, now he hates you for it. And some men won't stay. They will even divorce you once they realize this. Every man is not staying in suffering. Once they realize they made the wrong decision, they may be out of that marriage in 2-3 months' time. But for the ones who even stay, they still will hate you. So the question you have to ask yourself, sis, is that what you really want? Is a Leah and Jacob type of marriage what you desire? And if it's not, and you see a man with another woman and you want to prove that you're better than her, just walk away and let it go. Because if it's meant to be, God will bring the two of you together. And if it's not, then you'll just be trying to unlock and gain access to a man's heart who has already determined that he's not going to give you the key. I don't know. It's just something that has always bothered me about women. Like, I don't get it. Why on earth are you forcing a man to choose you? Like, why wouldn't you back out? Why wouldn't you bow down gracefully? Why do you not love yourself, sis? And even with my own situation, y'all want to know what I did? Like, for real, in secret back in January. Y'all want to know what I did? Once God told me that, I prayed for this woman. And I wished that she could be everything he wanted, since that was who he was with. And I hoped she could be everything for him that he needed and desired, everything that I wasn't. And I was done. And then I prayed and I said, Lord, present me to someone else. And I meant it. And I'd be lying, if I said that sometimes I still don't wrestle with those thoughts. But God is faithful. And, he has truly healed my heart. Nevertheless, I'm open to whatever the will of God is. I'm just following him day by day. But that's just not something I'll ever do. I'm not competing with another woman. I'm sorry. I'm not. I love myself too much for that. I will be angry, and then I'll cry, and then I'll block that man, and he'll never see me again. But begging, pleading, twisting his arm, trying to manipulate him, hoping he changes his mind, never, never. Who wants a man who wants someone else? Like, who wants to be Leah? I'm sorry, that just doesn't work for me. Like, it's not enough perks in the world to make me sign up to be someone's Leah. Like, I can't. I think men should have who they want and who their hearts desire, and I don't care to help him out in the choosing process. I think that should be between a man and his God, or a man and his flesh. But regardless of what a man does or which way he goes, why does it matter to me? Godly chicks, we serve a God who owns the world and the people that dwell therein. And you mean to tell me that God can't replace and give me someone else if a man doesn't want me and wants someone else? Like, that's crazy if you believe that. And I know that some of you actually do believe it. I can tell by the low expectations you have for men and by what you let them get away with. I can tell. And I want to add this, and then we got to move on. Ladies, men are intelligent. Especially the man God was talking about that he wanted for me. He's a genius. So why would I take away his ability to make his own decisions? That's between him and God. What would I get out of that in the end, except for pain in the future, because I forced his heart to feel something that it did not? If a child was playing with a toy and they didn't know how to use it because this toy was a little complex. So let's just say that because they don't know how to use it, now they're frustrated. Now they're crying and throwing the toy around because they don't want the toy anymore. Now they want this other toy. This toy they've played with 100 times. This toy is something they can handle. Me as a parent would take away the toy that this child is mishandling and give them the one they want. And then I would put this other toy they keep throwing all over the floor back on the shelf or in a toy chest so that it wouldn't break. Because if I keep trying to make my child play with something or force them to have that toy instead of the one they actually want, then eventually they're going to break it. And to me, that toy is just as good as the other one. Regardless of whether my child thinks it is or not, I still went to the store and bought both of these toys. And that's how you have to look at these men, sis. They're showing you all the signs that they don't want you. I mean, every sign we've talked about in the past 4 weeks, they walking fully in all of them. And you know in your heart this man doesn't love you or want you. So what are you doing chasing him? Why on earth are you trying to force him to like you or take away his ability to choose for himself? If men can run a house, a company, a business, pay bills, invest in stocks, and make decisions in every other area of their life, why can't you trust them to make a decision about you? Now, these next few points, we're going to run through quickly because I have been way longer on that than I have wanted to be. So number 4, you feel more secure than you do safe. You know you're not her when you have to keep on questioning if he likes you, aka you have no peace, and for some reason you can't settle in this relationship. And even if you do try to stay in it, your heart and mind still can't rest. It's like this nagging voice in the back of your head. Sometimes it's God, and sometimes it's just a woman's intuition. But whichever one, you cannot rest with this man. But love is supposed to bring clarity, sis, not confusion, peace and not paranoia. But with him, that's all you feel. I mean, you constantly feel insecure, unworthy, replaceable, anxious about where you stand, and for the most part, unsure. You second guess yourself daily, and your spirit never feels at rest. And that's because deep down, you already know you're not the one. And don't say you don't, because you do. You do. Love, when it's given by God, it does not come to torment you, but it comes to confirm you. So if you feel like you're auditioning for love, it's probably because he's not casting you for the part. And the thing about it is, if you're not the one, he doesn't mind the confusion. In fact, he creates it so it will keep you wondering and on edge, because most times, by the time the confusion even starts, he has already labeled you in his mind as a fun girl and not his wife. And you know, I know for some of y'all, that's okay. You like hopping from man to man and being a fun girl. I mean, you know, sister, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Go on, enjoy your life and have you a nice, sinful, fun girl, a hot girl summer, as they say, okay? I mean, keep it up, hot girl, keep it up. Because the same hot girls who be hot in the summer and throwing that thing back be somewhere in a clinic getting a pregnancy test in the winter. And a few months after that, they ain't hearing none but a whole lot of crying and a whole lot of hoopla. Nothing but a whole lot of, wah, I need milk, mommy. Wah, I need them breastises, mommy. Wah, change me. I pooped, mommy. Wah, where's my daddy? Wah, wah, wah. Yeah. So keep it up, hot girl. Keep it up. Y'all, I play too much. Oh, Jesus. Keep it up. Keep it up, sis. Be your hot girl. Wah! That's what's awaiting you. Oh, God, that's ignorant. Anyway, by the time the confusion starts, he has already labeled you as not her. And some of y'all know it. And that's why it hurts, because you already know you're not her. And that's why you feel replaceable. That's why you're constantly trying to prove yourself. That's why you're always guessing, always questioning, always checking your tone because you're afraid he's going to leave you if you say the wrong thing. You're always checking your outfit because you want him to approve of you. Overreading your text messages because you're anxious about what he's going to text back. That's why you're always overdoing everything. Sis, love is not supposed to keep you shrinking, second guessing, and walking on emotional eggshells. It's not supposed to make you confused, beloved. Real love doesn't have you competing with other women in his phone. Real love doesn't feel like a pop quiz. You're always failing. Real love doesn't make you feel small so he can feel powerful. If every time you leave his presence, your heart feels heavier and your confidence feels lower, that is not your person. That's your pain. That is why your intuition is screaming, because it knows you deserve better. And I'm going to tell y'all this again. Godly chicks, you deserve a love that makes your heart feel safe, makes your spirit feel seen, makes your worth feel valued, and makes your future feel solid, not questioned, not delayed, and not doubted. A man who wants you will give you certainty, not breadcrumbs. He'll cover your insecurities, even if you have them, not create more of them. And he will remind you that you're the only one he wants. He won't make you compete to be chosen. That's little boy games. And you're a grown woman, so if you even see that, you need to gracefully bow out and let the other woman have it. Because real love silences fear. It answers the hard questions, and it makes you feel more secure, not more unstable. And if his presence creates more chaos than comfort, and your joy keeps shrinking the longer you stay, then sis, you already have your answer. Number 5, another sign to know that you are just not her is when he doesn't invest in you. Love is not just about words, okay, sis? I know we love listening to our men talk sweet nothings in our ear and tell us sweet stuff, but if that's all he's doing and he's not backing up what he's saying, then he's wasting your time. Love is not just words. And if a man has told you he cares for you, then you need to be paying attention to where his resources go while he's saying that, because time, energy, effort, attention, and sacrifice, those are the currencies of a man really investing in you. Those are the currencies of real investment. And when a man sees you as her, the one, his future baby girl, he invests. He doesn't just take from your table, but he adds to it. And he's not constantly asking you, what can you do for me? What you bring to the table? Because he already sees it off top, and he's coming to expand on what he already sees. And instead of asking stupid questions like that, he's asking, baby, what do you need me to do? Okay, how can I help you right there? Okay, you want to do that? Have you thought about doing it this way? He does that because he sees you as an investment. And when you grow, he grows. A man who sees your value won't just enjoy you, but he'll sow into you. And if you don't know what that looks like, then I'll, give you a couple examples. So when a man is investing in you, sis, it looks like him constantly showing up consistently. And not just when it's convenient for him, but even when he's tired. It looks like him asking you intentional questions because he wants to understand your dreams, your goals, and your fears. He wants to help lighten your load, whether it be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, or all of the above. He wants to help you. He also makes sacrifices, and he doesn't just date you and pass time with you and Netflix and chills with you, but he builds with you, whether that looks like supporting your business, praying with you when you're tired, learning your love language, and then loving you in that way, or covering things that you didn't even ask him for. He just saw that you needed it and he took care of it. He does this because you're his investment, not his entertainment. A man who's not invested in you will drain you, but a man who is invested in you will develop you. And you need to know this and not be fooled, because a man can be around you and still not build with you. And like I done told y'all before, who doesn't want free honey gold wings? I wanted some today, but because I gotta get this bone graft, y'all, and get prepared for my implants, I'm gonna be eating like a baby for the next week. So I'm going to the dentist tomorrow. That's the only reason I didn't get no wings, because I'm like, let me go ahead and just make me a pot of soup and some cornbread bread, something I can kind of munch and mush on. Nevertheless, I guess I should have gotten them today because I'm not going to the dinner till tomorrow, but I just went on and made the soup. It's actually cooking now. But who doesn't want free wings? So a man can be around you and not invest in you. So do not allow a man's presence to trick you, because when he's serious about you, when he sees you as a future covenant, he doesn't let you carry the weight alone, sis. He partners with you. He pours into you, and he plans. And he does this because he wants you to know he's the best choice for you. He wants you to know that he got you if you choose him. He wants you to know how much easier your life would be when you're with him. So he does this to make his mark on you. It's kind of like when you see those male birds in the wild dancing, and they are constantly, showing this lady bird that baby, you can't find no better mate than me, baby. You can't get no longer wings than me. You can't get a bigger beak with a fine feather. Baby, come on over here and touch these colorful feathers of mine. You know you want me, girl. You know you want me, girl. Look at this green and this blue all zigzag together in perfect harmony. And I got it zigzagging just for you, baby. This feather standing up is for you. You feel me? Caw-caw, caw-caw. That's what they do. That's what they do. And do not let these foolish men on these podcasts get on here and lie to y'all, because half of the women that they talk to and they sleep with and they date are women they know are beneath them. They just doing it to pass time. But when they meet the one, they whole attitude gonna shift. I'm telling you what I know. That's why some of them are bitter and angry, and some of them then already met the one, but they messed it up. And that's why they're angry now. So I don't care what they tell you on these foolish podcasts. They're lying to you. Any real, R-E-A-L, man loves investing in his woman. It gives them a sense of purpose, a sense of fulfillment, to feel needed and to feel purposeful and like they're really helping you or teaching you something or showing you a better way to do something than you would have done it. They love teaching us. They love investing, especially when they see that you will be a good investment and they know that they'll get a return on their investment, especially if they think you're the one. He is going to pursue you and he's going to invest, period. It comes natural to them because they have to stick out their chest. They got to let you know they're the biggest bird in the jungle. They got to let you know they're the one for you. And a man who thinks you're the one or who knows you're the one is going to do this. He has to let you know how valuable he is to you and that you are better off with him than without him. And he does this by investing. So if he's not investing, if all you get is midnight rendezvous and sex trips and Netflixes and chill date nights and him hiding you in the dark, then once again, sis, you have your answer. And last but not least, number 6, another sign that you are just not her is when you've made him an idol, but he's made you an afterthought. My God, your entire world revolves around this man. You make weekend plans based on his mood. You daydream about your future wedding, even though he's never even talked to you about marriage and God hasn't even told you he's the one. You've already named the kids, picked the schools, and mapped out your dream city, and every piece of your future includes him, and you don't even have a ring on your finger. You plan your life around him, and he doesn't even plan his weekends around you. You've turned him into a mini God in your life, and you don't even realize it. You think more about him than you do God. You worship his potential, give him whatever he wants, and you bow down and bend down whenever he requires it of you. And you wait for his text messages, his calls, his voice more than you wait and listen for the Lord's. And the harsh truth, sis, is that most times he doesn't even respond. He doesn't even match your energy. He doesn't match your vision. He just stays quiet, watching you spaz out or talk about all the things that the two of you would do in the future. He's silent, emotionally absent, spiritually passive, and fully disengaged. And yet, you keep worshiping at the altar of his indifference, hoping that your sacrifices will change his mind. But I got news for you, sis. It won't. Because he already knows you're not her. And lighting candles won't change that. Trying to speak positive and manifest him back into your life and putting him on a vision board won't change that. Holding on to his gifts, trying to put love spells on him or voodoo won't change that. Especially if he's my future husband, baby. I wish a witch would. Whoever my husband gonna be, baby, them prayers is covering him. Baby, you gonna find yourself in a hospital trying to play with minds. Baby, this south side of heaven over here, you know what I'm saying? Baby, this south side of heaven side gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep messing with me, baby. Try it if you want. Because I ain't finna play with no witch. And he blessed. Blessed, boo. Regardless of all your curses and witchcraft, he blessed. And them curses gonna fall on your own head and you gonna be in a hospital. Keep it up. Okay? Shoot. About to make me get rowdy up in this joint. Just thinking about somebody trying to do that to my husband. Anyway. My husband covered, baby. Wherever he is, he covered, okay? Under the blood. Anyway, sis. Yeah, I know I'm clowning. If you find yourself doing all of this, you have made an idol out of this man. And it's time for you to get real and ask yourself, when did he become the center of your world? When did you start loving him more than you loved yourself or more than you loved God? Because idolatry doesn't always look like a golden calf. Sometimes it looks like a man you can't let go of, even though he's let go of you. Some of these men have let go of you girls years ago, and you're still talking about them. Let me tell y'all something. And then we're going to close. We got to close because, y'all, I have been too long. Even with me knowing who my God-ordained husband is, or the man that, God wants for me, I'll just say that. Even with me knowing that, if the Lord asked me to sacrifice him tomorrow and that he wanted me to marry someone else, even with me having invested 4.5 years of praying, fasting, and covering this man and having my heart being inclined towards him, even if God came to me and told me that he wanted me to go a different route, a different way, and that this was no longer his will for my life for whatever reason, I would be okay with it. Because as long as God is in my life, that's truly all that matters. And I know a lot of people say it, but I mean it. I would cry, and then I would heal, and I would ask God to clean my heart, and then I would marry someone else. Y'all heard what I told y'all that I did back at the beginning of the year, and I meant it. Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac even after God gave Isaac to him as his promise. He had enough faith to believe that the same God who gave me this can resurrect it if need be. And I will be able to do the same thing because my faith, my hope, and my trust is in the promise keeper, not the promise itself. If it was in him and God wasn't leading me, y'all, I would have been walked away. Like, be for real. I would have been gone. But some of you cannot say the same thing, and you can't say that because you have made these men idols. You've made being in a relationship with them your only goal in life, and then you wonder why you're unmarried, and you wonder why God still has you single and why he has yet to send your real husband when you won't even sit down before him long enough to allow him to be the lover of your soul first. Sis, God is not going to give you an idol to marry. He's a jealous God. He's just not going to do it. And let's be honest. Some of these men didn't even ask for this kind of pedestal, but you gave it to him. You handed over the seat that belonged to God and placed this man in it, hoping that if you honored him enough, envisioned him enough, prayed over him enough, sexed him enough, that he'd finally become your husband, everything you dreamed of. But I'm here to tell you the truth and to tell you that he won't. He won't. And it's time for you to let him go, walk away, and wish this man well. It's time for you to put God back on the throne of your heart. It's time for you to heal Because godly chicks, at some point in time, we have to grow up. We have to heal. We have to become whole. We simply have to do better. Stop the pretending to be his wife when you're not. Stop the twisting of his arm by using emotional witchcraft. Stop the self-manipulation and pretending that this is a beautiful relationship when it's not, and it's a foolish situationship. Just stop it. Stop being his caretaker and letting him leech off of you when the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter what you do. You can go to the moon and back, sis, and still, if it's not in his heart, he will not love you because you're just not her. You're not. You are not. At least not for him. But guess what? Let me tell you the good news. One day, sis, you will undoubtedly be her. But this is only with the man God himself chooses for you and presents you to. And when you get that man, sis, girl, you are going to be her effortlessly because you were ordained by God to be. And the place in that man's heart that every other woman before you tried to fill up and take up will be given to you without a second thought. Because this man will have the passion to pursue you, the fire within his heart for you, the peace in his spirit for you. And baby, if he got to grab you by the hand and take you everywhere he go just to make sure don't nobody else get you, that's how protective he's going to be. Y'all know I'm playing about the taking you everywhere part because relationships do need space, okay? That's how they stay healthy, amen? But y'all know what I mean. I mean, like, you're just going to know it's gonna be in the way that he looks at you, the way he plays with your hair, the way he talks to you. Like, he'll be a Rottweiler with everyone else and in business and in the streets and with his boys. But baby, when that man comes home to you, sis, and gets in your arms, he gonna curl up like a little bitty teacup poodle. And he's going to love it there because there's nowhere else he would rather be. There's no other woman he'd rather be with than you because for him, you are her. He'll be walking around and can't even sing a lick, but you will inspire him. And he'll be singing, ain't no woman like the woman I got. And he'll be doing all that. Can't no woman replace your face, your style, and your grace. You're her. You're her. The only one for me. I said you're okay, that sound like Michael Jackson. I don't know what that is. Y'all not beginning to the moment. Let me stop. Look, let me stop. Anyway, he'll be on cloud 9 because for him, you will be her. And regardless of what this man who you're chasing can offer you, regardless of what he's telling you, for some of you, it's been so many months, almost a year. For some, it's been years, and still for others, it's been decades of the same thing. Regardless of its inconsistency and lies and usury, regardless of all of that, sis, there is a man out there who is praying for you and waiting for you and hoping you get in alignment with God's will just so he can love you in all the ways these other men never could. That man is real, sis, and God has him for you, I promise. And I feel this in my spirit, y'all. I don't know who I'm talking to. I feel like I'm about to cry. But God has him for you, sis. Please do not doubt. Do not give up. Do not throw in the towel. Don't let go of God's promise just yet, and do not settle, because everything is about to break for you and change for you. All you need to do is trust God. Now, I don't know who that's for, but it's for somebody. And I felt that strongly in my spirit. God has not forgotten you. And the man he has for you will be exactly what you need and what you want. And although he won't be perfect, because none of us are, however, he will be perfect for you. And you're going to be at peace. And so will he. And when he holds you, Sharabashiyakasa, my God. The love of God will surround both of you and confirm that this is God's will. And I can just see some of y'all just crying right there in this man's arms, because finally you can exhale and your heart can rest. Wow. Godly Chicks, with that being said, I am done. Ladies, I truly pray that you enjoyed today's podcast as much as I enjoyed talking with you. I have been over an hour, so it looks like it's going to be one of those long podcasts, but y'all love, hearing the sound of my voice. So I know y'all will enjoy it. Nevertheless, this is the final episode of The Harsh Things. I know y'all was probably sick because, baby, the pretend wife was not cute, and then this, you're just not her, was not cute either. But ladies, you can breathe, inhale, and exhale. We are done, y'all. We are done with this 5-episode series. And I pray that it has blessed you. And on next week's podcast, we are going to be talking about what you do after you're walking away, how to forgive, how to move forward, things you need to focus on, how to heal in God, and how to become a better version of you and become more whole and get ready for the man God really does have for you. So ladies, the hard part is over. Look, as a prophet, it's my job to come in and tear down, but it's also my job to build back up. So y'all, I love you girls so much. I pray these podcasts have been blessing you. If you are not subscribed to the podcast, once again, what you waiting for, baby? Because we going raw over here. Like, we keeping it real. We real and raw. You know what I'm saying, baby? But I'm going to get out of here. I love you so much, Godly Chicks. And I will see you girls next Friday for the Healing Podcast. All right. Love you girls. See you next Friday. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Godly Chik Podcast. Tune in next Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear the continuation of Season 2, where we will be discussing topics and stories that are all about love. Don't forget to follow Godly Chik Ministries on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Godly Chik. That's GODLYCHIK. And always remember, when you know who's you walking with, it ain't hard to be a godly chick. Have a blessed day, and I look forward to having you all here with me next week. For my innocence.